have plenty of institutional interest, but like I said, we don't want to do it until we have a competition between them. And when we're ready, we're well funded now. I don't need to take institutional yet.
Got
So
it.
we'll take institutional when Chicago is signed, when
Mhm,
the ad revenues have hit the $30 a month,
mhm.
and when we've got our next three cities ready to sign and 40 of the 100,000 rooms installed at like early next year is when we'll take a, we'll fulfill the rest of this $20 million round with a single check and
Mm.
close the round, and then our funding journey in the institutional level starts.
Okay. So that brings me to the timing. So how much have you burned? How much do you need to raise until institutional backs you up and then you go IPO? I imagine it's all happening in the next few little while, right?
We already have enough money in the company to last till the institutional round, not counting what we need to buy in tablets.
Okay.
So we're expecting institutional money to be here by January, February. We should be in closing, March.
Really? In
Yeah,
2025? That's
yeah. Six
oh,
months, 6 months from now would
yeah.
be outside horizon of when I think we'll have closed an institutional round. We have institutional funders ready now.
Mhm.
It's just that we're not ready yet.
Yeah, yeah. You want to get
So
a better
we
position.
have
Yeah.
to fortify, we have to make this deal impossible to put a hole in.
Yeah.
So the revenues are here, the customers are here, the technology is done. And now a $15 million check at our valuation will make sense and will attract the toughest scrutiny and pass it. So that's where we are. And I would say that we're well set until then in terms of funding, although we continually raise, like I said, we have to buy tablets, et cetera. So but that's it. So the company's burn, which is considerable, we're not,
Yeah.
we're not, um, we're in growth mode. And so we've got a big team and we've got a team of top professionals. So it's not a company that is on a shoestring, but
Right.
our fundraising is at a very high level. So we're never behind in our, you know, with our runway. We
Yeah.
have plenty of runway ahead of us to be able to support this burn.
So what you're telling me, if I heard correctly, what you're saying is that you can no longer accept like individuals check like me uh, uh, anymore once institution comes in a few months, right?
Yeah, once institutional is in, the
Yeah.
the road show
Anchor.
is over. The only people that will be able to invest are the existing investors.
Right.
So
Right.
once you're in, you can continue to reinvest. But we won't be on the road looking for new investors once we have the prime investor in our B round.
Right.
The individual investor period of our company will be over.
Right. A question. So if anyone from my audience is interested as an individual, are they able to participate before the institution comes in or no? At this point.
Absolutely. So we have our B round open,
Okay.
and that is an equity investment with preferred shares.
Right.
And we're also about to offer a debt round. So for those that prefer debt, and it would be convertible to shares later at a discount off whatever the share offering is at that time, but it's going to pay interest as well as some warrants, et cetera. It'll be an attractive debt offering
Right.
with a lower entry point. So the entry point for the shares is 42K and you must be accredited.
Mhm.
So that's 100,000 shares.
Yeah.
And in rare cases, we've made an exception because if somebody pleads their case and they really can't step in at 42 once in a while, we'll allow a smaller investor to come in. But the better vehicle for a smaller investment is our debt vehicle, which we believe, and we'll be here within 2 weeks. We'll
Mhm.
start with a minimum investment of 10K, and it
Mhm.
will give you the right to convert those to shares at a discount off
Do they
the.
have to be accredited?
They do.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Um. Um. All right. And what's the valuation right now?
It's based on $59 million valuation.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. And
Pre-money, like
free
the
money.
beginning of the round.
Right. Do you have an estimate of how much the institutional will value you guys?
Yes, we will raise the price to 100 million before we go for institutional money, and we will
Mhm.
bring them in at that rate, or I
Mhm.
will wait until we've hit that institutional investor that will join us at that price.
Right. 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 Right.
So we're now at 60 million, and it is the intention of the company not to take institutional money until we've hit $100 million valuation. That will be, uh, um, the company will be attractive enough at that point to attract institutional money at that level.
Right, right. Um, this is very good. Now, just a note still to my audience, like everything has risk, so any investment has risk. Like this is something I really believe in, because of everything you guys heard. But again, like you could lose all your money in any of these startup things, right? So like just do your own due diligence. If you're interested, reach out, do your own due diligence, and be responsible for your own money. I'm just sharing my experience. No, this is very good. Yeah, this is very good.
Well, thank you
Uh,
so much, Cindy. It's been a pleasure having to be on your podcast and to be have the outreach to your community. We really appreciate it.
right. I think this is the opportunity where even I couldn't really grasp what it is in the beginning. It's only after some real hard digging I realized how logical this whole thing is. Like it
Hmm.
makes total sense to me now.
Well,
And
you see, that's the best kind of win is winning somebody over who's super skeptical and really tests us. So that means a lot. It means more than someone who says yeah right away.
yeah, I really hope this thing turns my luck around in startup investing because like I had no luck in this space. So I really hope this is the one project that turns my luck around in this in this space.
Well, let me tell you this. You know, our first startup, it took me 20 years, and I wasn't the lucky guy with a great idea, and then suddenly the sparkling dust came and we started making money. I was the guy that persevered, and Richard too, against impossible odds over an enormous amount of time that would have killed any normal human being. And, you know, we had to have superhuman endurance in the first one, and that's what we brought to this. A great idea is only as good as the entrepreneurs that pull it through impossible obstacles and resistance. And, you know, we're at the end of that now. This is a long, long journey. We started this company in 2010. Our first installation of tablets was 2015. And here we are at 2024. You know, I'm sure there are Silicon Valley entrepreneurs, the lucky ones, that have already exited their company that are younger than my company. So, you know, we're not the lucky guys. We're the ones that will not be killed and will not stop until we succeed. And that's a good bet.
And you know what? That's exactly what made me feel the winning odds here are quite high because I honestly never had luck in rich overnight schemes. I
Right.
always had steady returns on things I work really hard on. For people who are following me, they know what those are, like all passive income like streams which were valued over the years. Um, and this model, that's why I was very focused on barrier to entry because the product it needs to burn millions and millions to build over many years. And
Yeah.
also the team you put together is actually
Mhm.
the insiders of your biggest clients, right?
That's right. That's right. It tells a lot about the company to have attracted this talent.
Right. Like it doesn't happen overnight. So it
Right.
only makes sense to me that it happened over like a decade or so. That actually is right in my
Right.
mind.
Exactly. Of investing and raising money and facing peril and facing obstacles and being turned down and being said no to and having Hilton take forever and technology breaking down and not,
Yeah.
you know, every obstacle, every possible obstacle happened to us 3 times. And yet here we are at the end of that journey, having de-risked all that because we had to withstand it and overcome it and
That,
have to continue reinvesting without giving up hope and giving up, you know, without letting our confidence drop. And here
yeah,
we are at the end of the journey at the most exciting moment of
right,
breakthrough.
right.
And that now is payday.
Yeah, yeah. That to me is the right. Like I actually don't all the stuff you read on social media nowadays and the news, like, oh yeah, this guy made 100 million overnight, or they sold their company, they raised another round for like I actually don't believe that kind of stuff because I invest enough to know like you like
You
those
know, I look at it and think some people are lucky. I'm just I'm just not that guy. I believe it. Some guys are lucky, but you know what I say? I'd rather have success after a long journey than an easy one because it's too easy to slip through your fingers. When you've worked hard for it and it's been an impossible journey, when you get it, it stays.
Yeah,
Build
absolutely true.
foundations underneath it,
Absolutely true.
you
And
know,
after
and
like the decade of all this, you guys are still here talking about it and delivered on everything you said you're gonna do. And like it all makes sense, right? So
here we are. It's a wonderful moment. And we look at the investors as a family. And also we have super open policy, as you know, I'm easy to reach. We communicate
yeah,
often with
yeah,
our investors. We're part of it. When you join an early stage like this, you're part of a journey that you can be proud to say at the end, hey, I saw these guys when they were just in
yeah,
Chicago and saw something in them. And so,
right.
so every time I come back and report these big wins, we all feel the same feel of excitement and it's powerful. It's a great journey to be on.
Right. Honestly, like when I was talking to other people, I guess who are your shareholders, like some of them started really early with you guys, and they
Yes,
believe in you guys, and they took a lot more risk than I did.
they did. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
like you guys already de-risked most of it. Like all the hard part, that the part that I'm like, if I'm an entrepreneur in your shoes, I wouldn't even want to touch it. You
I
guys
know.
already did it.
I
So
know.
de-risk so much, and I can still get in. So it's like okay, like that's that's
I
good.
know. There's people that invested when we weren't even in one hotel yet.
Right, right,
And yeah, they got a super low price, but look at the risks they took. Look how
right.
far we had to go to
Exactly.
get to where we are today. So
Exactly.
but also they've been part of, it's amazing. I had over 150 investors on that investor update call, and then another 100 that listened to it afterwards. All of these people are breathlessly waiting for the news that we bring because they've all
Right,
been part of this journey and
right,
seen us have these big goals and then say we're going to hit these milestones, and they know how long it took and how much hard work and risk it took, and then we get the milestone,
right.
and it's like,
Exactly.
wow, that is something to say we've got Hilton.
Yeah,
That
for
is
sure.
something to say we've bolted on some of the top advertising executives and advertising engines in the world now. So all
Yeah.
of these are big major steps towards a vision that we started this company from the beginning with the same vision as we have now. We have not pivoted. We have driven
Which is
through.
rare.
Well, it comes from this. Richard and I had a big success in a previous company. We didn't start this with a good idea and a PowerPoint. We came to this industry after a lifetime of success, closing the biggest deals and building a digital platform in two major industries and a global company of 600 people. And then said, okay, now let's do something even bigger. And we figured out the strategy at a cost of millions. We did a pilot before we ever started the company. We knew what we were up against and we developed the strategy. We knew it would be hard. We never had the illusion this is going to take 2 years, because the last one was a tenth the size and it took 15 years. So we knew it would be long, but we said, okay, this is one of the world's biggest prizes. Doesn't matter how long it takes. We knew we could find our way through funding it, and we have. And here we are.
That's amazing. Oh, and you just mentioned you guys have your own money in this as well, right?
Oh, yeah, the first pilots and the first seed money. And still to this day, banker of last resort when needed, so
That's
we're
great.
we're we're 1,000,000% in every way.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for today's time.